Well, this is Tim Talks About Everything, and if you look behind me, you see a Japanese maple that unfortunately got some frost damage. We had 3 late frosts here in Indiana, and this is the tree that got the least amount of damage, and I haven't gotten around to doing anything about this one yet. But I decided that I would take a chance on some of my other Japanese maples because they got hit really hard. You know, I was foolish, and I decided not to cover up my Japanese maples. You know, your native plants and your native trees, they have enough sense to kind of stay in a little bit until everything is safe. But Japanese maples are like, whoa, spring is here. Wow, let's get our leaves out there. And the leaves were gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous this spring. And then whammo, 3 frosts really hurt my Japanese maples. Now this little guy is doing pretty good. At the last minute, I did cover him up a little bit. But these others, they got hurt pretty bad, and you might be able to see some damage there. But I will expand more on why these leaves look so fantastic right here. Now, see, the thing is, I started looking through all the YouTube videos I could find about what do you do with frost-damaged Japanese maples. And I thought maybe I was going to lose this one over here, which is one of my favorite ones, because every leaf looked like it had been put on a torch or something. Just, it was horrible. And it was like, oh no, I think I'm gonna lose this tree. But in fact, I decided, okay, I'm gonna take a chance on this idea I found after, I mean, I must have looked at 20 different YouTube videos about frost-damaged Japanese maples. And I finally found this one that talked about the fact that in Japan, a lot of times the Japanese will cut off every leaf in the first leafing out because they feel like the second batch of leaves is better and is going to give a little bit better fall color. And this guy recommended just cutting off every single leaf on the tree. So I thought, okay, what have I got to lose? So I decided I would do exactly that. I would cut every leaf off this little tree. Now in the process, I did some other pruning. I decided that some of it was dieback, some of it I probably should have pruned last year. Some of it I felt like, okay, that's a redundant branch and I need to get rid of that. And so I did a little extra pruning. I didn't want to go overboard with it, but I did some of that too. But the product was, I mean, for a few days, it was like, okay, there's no leaves on that except for a couple that I left on. What's gonna happen? Well, this is what happened. I got a nice new batch of leaves on this Japanese maple, and I think it looks pretty good considering the fact that it lost almost everything. You can see some of the older leaves that I left on there, and then some of the new leaves that have come on since. And I thought, okay, this is beautiful. This is actually working. So what I did then is I went to some of my other Japanese maples, and like, for example, this one here, I decided, okay, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna cut off every single leaf. And there were a few leaves that I decided, okay, just for contrast, maybe if I do a video, I will go ahead and leave those on so you can see the difference between the new leaves and the old leaves that didn't get damaged or didn't get very much frost damage. And so this tree is responding really well. Now this tree also got hit really hard. And some of the branches weren't too bad, so I left some of the leaves on those branches, but you can see that, I mean, the leaves were just horrible. And I thought, I can't live with that. I can't tolerate that. So I decided, yep, got to cut off all the leaves. And I have not been able to get all the way up to the top of this one, but I like the results of what I'm getting so far. And I'm real pleased. So you saw this tree a little bit earlier, and let me go back around there. These are branches that I defoliated, and then these branches up here I did not defoliate, and you can see they did put out a nice new batch of leaves. But to see that every day in my garden on my Japanese maples, day after day, all that burnt leaf power, it's like, okay, I can't live with that. And then I did the same thing with this tree here. I decided, okay, as far as I can reach, I'm going to take my scissors, which is what I did with most of it. I used an old pruner that I have, and these scissors, and also this little job I just bought. I don't know if that's going to be a good tool or not. I haven't decided yet. I've used it some. This is not a commercial for Fiskars, by the way, even though there are 2 Fiskars products there. And overall, though, I'd say I'm really happy with this idea of, if you get frost damaged leaves, then just go ahead and cut them all off and let the tree go ahead and do its thing, bring out some more leaves. Now I'll be very interested to see what happens in the fall, whether I get some better fall color than what I've had in the past. But overall, I would say, if you're looking for something to do, if you have some hours of free time, especially like during a pandemic like what we're in right now, and you're staying at home, then maybe get a pair of scissors and cut off those damaged leaves on your Japanese maples, and I think you're going to be really happy with the end result. You take care now. Have a good one.